Once upon a time, in a small and quiet village nestled between two green hills in the heart of India, there lived a little girl named Meera. She was 8 years old, with big brown eyes and 2 long braids that her mother tied every morning with red ribbons. Meera was a kind child, full of love, full of laughter. But she carried one very heavy habit in her small heart. She was always chasing people. She chased her friends to play with her. She chased her cousins to talk to her. She chased the older children of the village to include her in their games. Every single day, Meera would run after someone, beg someone, follow someone, hoping they would stay. And every single day, those people would walk away, and little Meera would come home with tears on her cheeks and sadness in her eyes. Her mother, a gentlewoman named Savitri, watched her daughter suffer and felt her own heart break quietly every evening. One afternoon, Meera came home crying harder than ever before. Her best friend Priya had told her to stop following her around. "You are too much," Priya had said. "You always want to be near me. It is too much, Meera. Leave me alone." Those words had cut like a sharp stone. Meera sat on the floor of their small mud house and wept. Her grandfather, old Dadu, was sitting in the corner of the room, slowly weaving a basket. He had a white beard and kind, wrinkled eyes. He had seen much of life. He listened to Meera cry, and he did not rush to stop her tears. He let her feel what she was feeling. And when the crying became soft and quiet, he put down his basket and said, "Meera, come with me. I want to show you something." Meera wiped her face and followed old Dadu to the back of their house, where a small yard opened up into a field of dry golden grass. At the edge of the yard was a wooden post, and tied to that post with a long rope was their little white goat Boli. Now Boli was a sweet goat, but she was also a nervous one. Whenever someone walked toward her too quickly, she would pull away. She would shake her head and back up as far as the rope would let her. Even when you came with fresh green leaves in your hand, if you came too fast and too eager, Boli would panic. Old Dadu pointed to the goat and said, "Watch." He picked up some grass and walked toward Boli quickly, his hand stretched out. Immediately, Boli stepped back. She shook her ears and turned her face away. The more Dadu moved forward, the more Boli pulled back. Then Dadu stopped. He stood still. He placed the grass on a flat stone near the post and stepped back. He turned slightly away and became quiet. For a moment, nothing happened. Then slowly, very slowly, little Boli stretched her neck forward. She sniffed the air. She looked at Dadu. She took one small step, then another. And before long, she had walked all the way to the stone, eaten the grass, and was gently pressing her face against Dadu's hand. Old Dadu smiled and looked at Meera. Meera stood with wide eyes. "Did I chase her?" Dadu asked softly. "No," Meera whispered. "Did she come to me?" "Yes," Meera said, her voice very small. Dadu walked slowly back to his granddaughter and knelt down so that his eyes were level with hers. He took her small hands in his old rough ones and said, "Meera, my love, people are like Boli. The more you chase them, the more they run. The more you beg them to stay, the more they want to leave. It is not because you are bad. It is not because you are not enough. It is simply the nature of things. When you run after someone too hard, they feel pressure. They feel they have no choice. And nobody wants to be where they have no choice." Meera looked at the goat, who was now standing calmly beside Dadu, nuzzling his sleeve. "Then what do I do, Dadu?" she asked. "If I don't chase them, how will they come?" Dadu sat down on a stone and pulled her close beside him. The evening sun was turning the sky orange and pink. A warm wind moved through the dry grass. "You become the grass on the stone," he said. "You become something worth coming to. You build yourself. You grow yourself. You fill your own life with good things, your studies, your painting, your little garden, your prayers in the morning. You become so full, so bright, so rooted in yourself, that people feel your warmth from far away, and they come. Not because you beg them, but because they want to." Meera did not fully understand that night. But she did not forget. The next day, instead of going to find Priya, she sat in her yard and began to draw pictures in the dirt with a stick. She drew a river, a tree, a bird with wide wings. She talked to herself softly, making up a little story about the bird. She became so lost in her little world that she did not even notice the time passing. An hour later, she heard a small voice behind her. It was Priya. "What are you drawing?" Priya asked, standing at the edge of the yard, curious. Meera looked up. Her heart jumped, but she remembered Dadu and the goat. She did not run to Priya. She did not grab her arm. She simply smiled and said, "A bird that flies very far. Come see if you like." Priya came closer. She sat beside Meera. She looked at the drawing and smiled. And just like that, the two girls spent the whole afternoon together, laughing, drawing, and making up stories. Nobody was chased. Nobody ran away. As the years passed, Meera carried that lesson inside her like a quiet fire. There were still hard days. There were still people who left. People who did not come back. People who chose other paths. And each time, it hurt. She was human, and she allowed herself to hurt. But she never again ran after anyone who did not want to stay. Instead, she tended to herself like a garden. She learned to read. She learned to sing old folk songs her grandmother had known. She helped her mother cook. She sat with her grandfather in the evenings. She prayed, and she laughed, and she grew. And people came. Good people. Real people. People who chose her not because she begged, but because her life was something warm and full and beautiful. And they wanted to be near that warmth. When Meera grew into a young woman, she would often tell younger children in the village the story of Boli the goat. She would say, "Your value does not go up when you chase someone. It goes down. But when you stand still, when you build something real inside yourself, the right people will always find their way to you. Not all people, not every person, but the ones who are meant to. And those are the ones that matter." Old Dadu passed away when Meera was 20. She cried for many days. But on the last evening of her grief, she walked to the backyard, where old Boli still stood by the wooden post, now gray and slow with age. Meera placed some green leaves on the flat stone. She stepped back. She stood still. Boli came. And Meera smiled through her tears, because she understood, once and for all, that the most powerful thing a person can ever do is simply this: stop chasing, start becoming, and trust that what is truly yours will always, always come home.